Oh my gosh, you said that so well. I have been in so many back and forth um, discussions with people, and I said, you want people that are knowledgeable and be able to speak upon that topic and have the tools to be able to move that forward. If the person is not knowledgeable, it's okay. Like you said, they might misspeak. Whoever their publicist, they have to deal with that, right? That's not, they're gonna upset the public. Shoot, every day somebody upsets the public. It doesn't even have to be on such a heavy topic. They got to deal with that. But I personally enjoy, to your point, that Beyonce said, hey, this is my stance on this, or, whomever it may be. You mentioned Prince. When I found out that he was supporting, I love Prince. I was in Baltimore working on an event, not with the same company, but in conjunction with that whole rally of peace, because there had been so many things that had happened in Baltimore. They were just trying to bring the city back together and show some unity. I was very fortunate to be able to work on that project, but to see him take a stance on that, you want people that are going to highlight the positivity and be able to speak correctly about that. That's such a great point. A little earlier, we were talking about the Democratic National Convention. What are your thoughts on potentially having our first female president?
Right now it doesn't seem like it's a done deal. I think that Hillary has, shattered the ceiling regarding being the first woman nominated by the DNC or by either party, actually, to run for president. But so many cracks have been put in that ceiling by women, especially women of color before her. So, without Shirley Chisholm, without Lenore Fulani, there would be no Hillary Clinton with respect to this issue. So I think that Hillary has done an okay job, talking about issues of social justice, and she seems at least open to having the conversations as opposed to her opponent. And I just, for me, I understand the argument about perhaps not wanting to vote for, what some would consider to be the lesser of two evils. But I think, especially at this time, if you were a supporter overall of President Obama, even though we can critique him out of love and respect, to ensure that his legacy is preserved. Not disrespect with respect to where we are with respect to jobs and the Affordable Health Care Act, but things like the Voting Rights Act and the Civil Rights Act, and and Supreme Court nominations. If we want to help preserve all of that and sort of ensure that that the clock is not turned back 50 years, I would say think long and hard before deciding not to vote or deciding for whom you will vote.
And that's perfect. That's a great answer. I encourage everybody, especially if any of you guys have been following my show, just know what you want to vote for. I think you make a great point. I think we have fought long and hard as a culture to have the rights to vote, not only being African American, but females. Our ancestors fought very long and hard for us to be able to have that ability to vote. So to not exude it is a little disappointing to me personally, but just make yourself knowledgeable. There's so much out there on the internet. Just as easily as you can go on a gossip column, you can take 10, 15 minutes to go Google what these platforms are for each individual candidate. And I think that it's very important. It's a banner year. There can be a lot of change that can happen within the United States of America. And I definitely think that everybody should want to make an impact by hearing their voice being heard. If there could be anything culturally right now, April, that you would love to see changed, what would that be?
So that's a broad question. I guess to bring it back to the issues of diversity and inclusion in entertainment, I would like to see, us sort of implement. I did a piece for the Guardian a while back in which I had sort of a 10-step plan for the Academy and for Hollywood in general as to how to make things better. And so I think I would just follow up on that and say perhaps we could institute the Ava DuVernay rule with respect to hiring and telling stories about people. So most recently, just a couple of days ago, it was announced that Matt Damon is going to be starring in this movie called Great Wall, which is about people in China who are fighting, who have built the wall to keep out what appear to be monsters or aliens or bad guys or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it is Matt Damon, a white man, who is going to be leading this charge, as opposed to hiring, an Asian American man or specifically a Chinese man to play in this role. And obviously there is no shortage of qualified, fantastic Asian American actors that could have played that role and so many other roles. All marginalized communities have it bad with respect to inclusion in entertainment. The Asian American community is part of that as well. So what I would like to see is more thought being put into how scenes are greenlit. So both on film, on stage, and in TV. And that's not to say that there should be a quota system by any means, because I don't agree with that at all. I think it should be based on merit. But my goal is to see studios cast a wider net, and ask questions that may be uncomfortable to them and may take them outside of their frame of reference. Why couldn't an Asian American man have played that role? Why couldn't an Asian American woman have played that role? And there are so many examples of that. Matt Damon once again played The Martian. I guess that came out last year. Great film, but there's nothing that says that, a Latino man could not have played that role, or a black man, or, or anyone other than a straight white man. And so then the question becomes, everything starts on the page. So when the screenwriter is writing a script for something, or a playwright is writing a play, and they say, okay, in my mind, the protagonist is, a tall, blonde woman. Well, that just cuts out, some of the best actresses of our time, right? That cuts out Ming-Na Wen, it cuts out Rosario Dawson, it cuts out Angela Bassett, and they're all great actresses, but they will never get the shot. Why? Because the screenwriter has that in their mind, and so when they sell their idea to the producer is thinking, Scarlett Johansson or whomever. So then the producer takes it to the director, and the director takes it to the studio, and by then the thought of tall blonde woman is so ensconced that nobody's even interested in seeing whether, a tall Latina could play that role, or a woman whose height doesn't even matter and, could play that role. And so that's the ongoing problem that I see in entertainment, and that's the change in the culture that I'd like to see.
That's amazing. I mean, like I said, I admire your Twitter. That's how I found you, and I enjoy it so much. You're so thought provoking, and you are definitely a leader amongst the culture and making change. If people want to find you out there on social media or your website, where can they find you at, April?
Thank you for asking. I am Reign of April everywhere, so it's REIGN of April. I'm primarily on Twitter, but my website is reignofApril.com, and Facebook, and LinkedIn, and Instagram, and all of the rest of them are also Reign of April, so you can find me consistently across the board.
That's so great. I cannot thank you enough for doing this interview. This was great. It was so thought provoking, and it definitely is something that I know that my listeners will appreciate. I appreciate and thank you for coming on to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. Guys, as you know, always make sure you follow me on all of my social media. That's at Little Miss ENT on Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, Periscope, and everything else. Make sure you give the Little Miss Entertainment Facebook a thumbs up. This was a really great and impactful show. I can't thank April enough for coming on the show and just speaking about some topics that I know are really heavy in the media as of right now. As always, there is no show without you. I love you guys for listening, because 100% you didn't have to. Have a great week. Peace.
TV. Cause we one step away, 2 feet from heaven, 3 from a cell, 4 from your death, 5 and 25. They said we wasn't supposed to be alive. So what the fuck we doing? Cause it's 1 step away, 2 feet from heaven, 3 from a cell, 4 from your death, 5 and 25. They said we wasn't supposed to be alive. So what the fuck we doing? Life starts out, life goes on. Some things right, but some things wrong. Started with a silver spoon, found out it was spray paint. Yeah, all the lines were off. No playbooks, you just get old. No resets on this game console. Feeling askew, must I console? Told most likely to succeed. No success, no definitions agreed. Just pushing, directions on me. Try to reroute, but the weather got me fucked up. All life delayed. Lane I stayed till I make my own, self-made. Man, I'm trying to pay myself. Learn different from riches and body with wealth. Elevate myself. You gotta help yourself. Don't save these hoes. I'm trying to save myself. Try to give you GSE. This is degrees. Here's the substance and the evolution of me. Cause this is what we doing. Cause it's 1 step away. 2 feet from heaven. 3 from a cell. 4 from your death. 5 and 25. They said we wasn't supposed